Bachman from Newsmax Media. Thanks
Hey.
for spending some time with
You're
us.
welcome.
So the first, second, and third person to bring up Israel tonight was President Obama.
That's right.
Was that a sign of desperation that he was really trying to reach these voters here in South Florida and Jewish voters across the country?
No, I think the fact that Mitt Romney spent an entire section of this debate on the Middle East not bringing up Israel at all, until he was asked later on in the debate by Bob Schieffer, the moderator, shows that he has used Israel as a political opportunity and that it's not really a priority for him. President Obama, in word and deed, has demonstrated that he has Israel's back, that he understands that the U.S.-Israel relationship is incredibly important and strong, and that he has made sure that as president, Israel has had no greater friend, and we have the closest military and security cooperation that we've ever had. But I thought the most telling portion of the difference during the debate, of the difference between the two men's priorities when it comes to Israel, is when President Obama pointed out that when he went to Israel as a candidate, he traveled to Sderot in southern Israel, met with the families who were victims of the rocket attacks launched from Gaza, and then used that experience to inform his policy when he became president to fund the Iron Dome missile defense system, which has prevented 80% of those rockets from meeting their targets. And when Mitt Romney went to Israel as a candidate, he held 2 fundraisers and went home.
Now, we know that the challenge was turning this debate from foreign policy and bringing the issue back home to the voters here. Who do you think did the better job of doing that? We heard Governor Romney do it in a little bit more substantial way than President Obama did. Who do you think really took this debate from foreign policy back home and reached the voters?
Well, I think President Obama really made it clear how important foreign policy is to our economy, because our relationships diplomatically were in tatters at the end of the last administration. President Obama talked about how we were able to rebuild those relationships, restore our alliances, reestablish America's leadership on the world stage, and because we're in a global economy which dramatically impacts America's economy, making sure we have influence in the world, in the global economy, allows us to rebuild our economy from the middle class out and focus on nation building here at home, because we've ended the wars in Iraq, we're winding down our involvement in Afghanistan, and we're able to take that focus and focus on nation building here in the United States.
Governor Romney said the biggest threat to U.S. national security is nuclear-armed Iran. President Obama said it's a terrorist organization. Which do you believe is to be the bigger threat?
Well, protecting our nation from those who would do us harm. If we aren't able to make sure that Americans are safe, then focusing on
answers that we heard from the candidates tonight, which one do you believe is the bigger threat?
I thought the biggest threat is making sure that we can keep America safe from those who would do us harm. That's what which is exactly what the president said.
He said a terrorist organization is the biggest threat. That was his first answer.
President Obama has made it clear that protecting our nation from those who would do us harm is the #1 priority, because you really can't focus on anything else unless we make sure that Americans are safe. And that's what Barack Obama has been able to do, and brought us through a tremendous amount of strife, where before our troops were committed hopelessly committed in Iraq. We had Osama bin Laden, who was alive, Al-Qaeda, who was dominant, and President Obama has been able to decimate the ranks of Al-Qaeda, bring Osama bin Laden to justice, protect our nation from those who would do us harm, and has consistently and repeatedly made sure that we make a priority of protecting our nation from terrorists.
Thank you for your time.
You're welcome.